Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. This is my Phalaenopsis Telu, so it's a primary hybrid, a cross between Ludamaniana and Tetraspis. I have had this orchid for quite a few years already, and if you look closer later in the video, you'll see this orchid actually has 5 flower spikes. And this time around, it blooms from the newest flower spike, and it gives me 2 buds. This orchid is fragrant, and the smell is closer to Tetraspis, but the look of it, later you'll see, the lip is actually taken from Tetraspis, and then the flower, the markings, is just like Ludamaniana. What I love about this orchid is that it's very easy to grow, it's not fussy, and the flower spikes remain green for years. They don't retire. I mean, this orchid doesn't retire its flower spike. So it's pretty hardy, and it's definitely a good orchid to have in the collection. Another thing about this orchid is its flower is very thick, waxy. It's very substantial. I sometimes I just love touching to feel the thickness of this orchid. In terms of care, this orchid receives anywhere between 1/4 cup to 1/8 of a cup, depending on the season. Wintertime, obviously, it would be 1/8 of a cup, and usually I would wait for almost 2 weeks, 14 days in wintertime, to give this orchid 1/8 of a cup. And then in summertime, spring, even fall, it would be close to 1/4 cup, no more than 1/4 cup, and then it's every 7 days or so. This orchid is currently still grown in semi-hydro setup, which means the drainage holes are on the side of the cup, and the media is a mixture. It's a mixture of manto clay and hydrocorn being the bigger pebble of the two. And the ratio for this one, I want to say it's 1:1, if not close to 1:2, and 2 being the smaller pebbles. 1 part bigger pebbles and 2 parts smaller pebbles. This orchid has been in this setup for, maybe 3-4 years now. Probably 3. And it's been doing really well, but it has also since then grown a lot of aerial roots. So I'm thinking either this year or next year I'll have to really give it a repot so I can put the aerial roots back into the media. And if I need a bigger container, I will definitely up-pot it. Some of you may question why I need to or want to repot this orchid when it's doing so well. Well, it's really more of an aesthetic and also convenience reason. These area roots, while great, I love looking at them. They're really just taking up a lot of horizontal space, while I can be really careful taking this orchid up in order to not, snap any area roots. But sometimes when I'm being careful with this one, I'm clumsy with other orchids around this orchid. So to really solve that issue, I should just, repot it, so that way I don't have to worry about breaking its aerial roots in any way. This orchid currently, like I said earlier, is in semi-hydro setup, and at that time I think I might have drilled the holes a little too high, meaning the reservoir portion is a little too big. So thankfully though, I have always, after I learned how much water this orchid needs, I use specific amount of water, which is never go up to the level of the drainage hole. So the repot is also a good way for me to determine if I need a different container. I may very well continue to use the same cup if I can, but otherwise, a slightly bigger pot. The two bottom yellowing leaves are just normal, aged leaves that are getting retired. The speed of these two leaves yellowing is really slow, so there's nothing to worry about. It's just natural retirement of the leaves. But if it's something really quick, like if leaves are yellowing in a matter of 2 to 3 days and then fell off, most of the time it's because of some kind of root rot issue going on. Another thing I really love about this orchid is its coloring. It has that really red color with markings, which I love. I have another Ludamaniana primary hybrid, and it's a cross between Ludamaniana and Yafeng Nice Girl. That one, the color and the marking is more close to pink/magenta. So when they are blooming together, I usually put them side by side, and I can really tell how red this orchid is. It doesn't appear to be like red when you just look at this orchid's flower alone, but when you put the other hybrid together with the other hybrid, primary hybrid, Ludamaniana hybrid together, you can tell this one is definitely much more red, which I love. And this is just a by the way. I love semi-hydro setup. It's a fun method, but gradually I have been moving a lot of my semi-hydro orchids to more of a traditional setup, meaning it would have drainage holes at the bottom. But then I use double cup method, so I can go between semi-hydro or traditional to let the water drain out from the bottom. I can go between these two methods. If I choose to leave some water at the very bottom and using double cup method, the water actually gets into the inner cup through the drainage hole, so that gives me a lot more flexibility. But with just semi-hydro cups, meaning the drainage holes on the side, sometimes, if you're not careful with water amount, and if you're especially in a, say, more humid environment, your success rate may not be that high. And when you want to dump out all the excess water, because at the end of the month I usually soak this orchid really well, sometimes pebbles fall out, because when you want to drain the water a little faster, you kind of have to tilt them a little more to get the excess water out quickly, and sometimes pebbles fall out, and so that's just another slight inconvenience, and that's why you get for using loose pebbles as substrates. But this is not a complaint, but just want to call out that there are always pros and cons to each approach. Just something to think about as you go on with your orchid journey. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!